All right, welcome to New Arenas episode 10. I am Vince Quinn. Joining me from the lovely Portugal, the lovely Ryan McCumber. Hello, Ryan.
What's up, Vince? How are you doing today?
As you shake your head at me like this idiot. Yes, I'm doing quite well, my friend. I'm happy to have you here. And who are we bringing on today, Ryan? Who are our special guests today?
Today we're going to talk sports betting. We got Aleksi from HER Technologies all the way from Helsinki, who has a video overlay of betting on the screen. And then we have Parth from our famous rival up in Boston. Parth launched a company called FlashPlays, which allows you to do kind of prop bets on your phone while you're watching the game. So pretty excited to see both of these, and let's get on with it.
All right, yeah. So both of these groups, by the way, HER and FlashPlays, are in the Global Virtual Accelerator from Hype. So continuing our coverage of that. And of course, we are New Arenas powered by Fist. This is episode 10. Let's go, baby.
All right. So for our first guest today, Vince, we have the founder of HER Technologies. That's HER, H-E-R. And why don't you even start with, so Aleksi Laakonen, if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not sure if I am, even though I've spent some time in Helsinki. So Aleksi, tell us a little bit, like one or two sentences of what is HER Technology, and even tell us where the name came from.
Yeah, well, HER Technology is a simple thing for the sports fans to get interactive features onto their TV, onto their web stream, or onto the application they are utilizing to watch sports. So we have interactive plugins that we plug into the streaming platform, and then the sports fan who's watching the game, for example, can get on-demand statistics, can subscribe an influencer who's watching the game at the same time to give commentary about the game and the players, or they can have a video chat on the screen with their friends. So interactive technology for sports streaming platforms. And the name actually comes from two things. It's a combination of Russian and English. It's about the movie HER, where Joaquin Phoenix falls in love for the AI, because the AI is the thing that is doing the magic in the background, under the hood of HER Technology. Because what we are actually doing is that we are utilizing the machine learning to understand people's emotions, their needs, their probabilities to do betting at a certain time at the game, for example. And that's the AI part. But if you talk with Russians, you might find out that when you pronounce HER in a Russian way, it means penis. So that was a kind of a funny coincidence. And when talking, our ex-CTO, who was Russian, and talking about the movie HER, he came up with this thing. And for some reason, I decided that for me this is a good name. So
that's amazing. That's so great. And one, I love the movie, by the way. I saw the movie and I just thought it was so great. And so that's just the funniest, greatest thing. I love to hear that.
And to be honest, when there's certain things in relation to Google, for example, so when you Google HER Technology, you come up with our stuff and also discussions about the technology that is used in the movie. So I wanted to utilize the search engine in my favor in this case.
I guess that's better than bringing up Russian porn.
Well, yeah, that was my thought too. It was like, uh-oh, let's... Oh, man.
So tell us a little more about the betting, because obviously Vince is from the U.S. and a lot of the audience here is the U.S. How could this enhance the betting mentality, so to say, and how do you see the betting working on this, and what's the angle on betting?
Yeah, well, at the moment, if you think about the companies who are streaming sports, people are betting on the sports that they are providing, but they do not see any dime of that money. And that's what I'm here to change. So basically, for the end user, it means that you are watching the game. You want statistics on the screen. You got them with the push of a button or tapping the screen. And in relation to the statistics on the screen that you get, you have also the betting odds from our betting partners. And then if you like to, when you have the statistics and the odds, and then you have a lot of information about the game itself when you're viewing it, if you want to bet, you can do it on screen. So everything happens on the same screen where you are watching the game. Previously, you needed to go check out the statistics from a website, from an app. The same thing happened with the betting odds and the betting itself. And also, it's a problematic thing, especially if you're new to betting, who is a reliable betting company, who is legit. And that is, not knowing that is one reason why not that many people bet. That's a small percentage of people who are watching the games who are betting. But I want to make it so easy and convenient for people. So it's just like putting small amounts of money to bet. It's not about the money. It's about the excitement on the game, and also like it's kind of a social collaboration when you bet and then you score, kind of compete with your friends.
So Aleksi, when we had the interview, when we had the calls with all the 12 partners, you asked the same question of every one of them, and I was kind of laughing because I knew you were going to ask the question every time the same way. The question was something around, could we use your players to comment on the betting? And you and I have had a call since then about using NBA players or even some Finnish NBA players commenting on, say, a Finnish basketball game and betting. Can you elaborate a little bit on that and how that works and what you meant by that? Because I see Vince is kind of a little here.
Yeah. Like said, we bring interactive plugins to video platforms, and we have a category of different plugins that work together. So, for example, first you have the statistics and betting, and the second, you can subscribe an influencer who is watching the same game that you are watching live, and they give a commentary about the game, talking about the players, about the strategy of the game, and so on. But the main thing there, from financial perspective, is that these influencers have social media power to pull in people from social media to watch the game with them. When people are brought to the platform to watch the game with this influencer, they can promote the betting. For example, you have in Germany Dirk Nowitzki watching the Bundesliga basketball games and then saying, hey guys, you want to have €5 free betting money from me. You just utilize my name when you sign up on this screen for this betting company's platform, and you got it. The money is there, and you can only utilize it on betting on this game. So we utilize the influencers to drive traffic to the video platform, and then drive the people to bet because we give them money. And this is one thing that many of my clients, they have some difficulties to wrap this around the head, because many times they ask, how much does your technology cost? And my answer is really simple. You do not need my account number. I need your bank account number. I pay you. You do not pay me. That is the thing. So I have a of deals with betting companies who want traffic, because the traffic for them is valuable. Yeah. And the streaming partners have people watching sports who would be potential bettors. And I'm connecting these betting companies with these streaming platforms and bringing through technology the business there. And that's the magic. That's why I'm paying the streaming partners for them to let me put my technology into their video player so we can really bring the betting on screen.
You're really looking for the rights holders, whether that be a club or a broadcaster or somebody, to be able to put this overlay on top to bring them more money from betting.
Yeah.
Wow. And so let me ask you this, because the whole influencer idea is interesting, right? Because what I've seen is I've heard about different apps where they have people broadcasting, doing their own versions of a broadcast of a live game. Now, if you're getting it where you have an influencer that's on the screen as the broadcast is going on, and you have that option, now is it going to be that it's only one influencer? Do you have access to multiple influencers? Say, can I have a choice of 20 different people broadcasting the same game at the same time? How does that work?
Yeah, the latter, exactly. Because that's the thing. You have an option to follow and subscribe to your screen an influencer that is of your liking, or several of them. So it's really kind of, we want to give the kind of the power to the people, the power to the fan to get statistics and get the influencers who are interested to them, who resonate with their mindset.
Wow. So the flexibility of that is great then, because I mean, the ability for all these different people and having all sorts of different broadcasts and having that option to go with the betting and go with the stats. I mean, the whole thing is really involved, and it sounds honestly amazing. Now, I guess the other thing is, so when it comes to the stats, like, are you providing the stats then? Where do they come from? How involved are the stats if I'm watching the game?
Do you have an agreement with Genius or Sports Radar or anything, or not?
Yeah. That's the thing, because there are several companies who are providing statistics, like Genius Sport, Stats Perform, you have Sports Radar, but then you have the associations, and that's the preferred way to go, because when you have an association, they are controlling the statistics and they are controlling many times the players, and they know the players, they have access to the players, so that the association itself is the best partner for me, because they can provide me the statistics and they can provide me the players, and in exchange of that I give them revenue. So the revenue share model is based on the value that each participant in this infrastructure or this ecosystem brings.
Wow. So, okay. So Aleksi, let's do this, because you sent us a video of what this looks like. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn on the screen share right now, and we'll go over to that, and we'll give people a look at what this is.
Aleksi, if you want to talk over it, feel free.
Yeah, sure.
Since we don't see your screen, we see your, maybe it's just me.
Huh. So
It's good on my side.
Oh, it's good. All right, beautiful. So let's go. I'm going to hit play here, and yeah, Aleksi, you can talk us through this.
Tell us what we're looking at, Aleksi. Talk us through it.
We're watching second Bundesliga basketball from Germany. So here you see a screen recording where on the left-hand side there was a statistics icon that was clicked, and it brings up the statistic views. In this version, we have 4 different views of statistics that are covering the most needed and necessary statistics for basketball fans: team comparison, top players, and so on. And as you see, when there's something happening, when there is a basket, the statistics are updated live, and also on the top right-hand side of the statistics view, you have this banner from a betting partner that when you click that, get.
Mm-hmm.
So here again, opening the statistics. So there's only an icon first that you click and you get the statistics open. Then you can switch their predefined views of statistics. And when you are ready, and if you want, you can click on the betting banner, where you see also the betting odds for the winner of this game. And on the right hand of the screen, there will be opening a screen where you can do sign in or log in and do all the betting.
Wow.
So real-time betting live based on prop stats, so to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, is a player going to hit a three-pointer potentially, whatever the odds are?
Exactly.
So it could be a Ben Simmons on the free throw line. Is he going to make it or not?
Yes, exactly. And this is the thing. We want to make this betting kind of a, you bet small amounts, but it's more about excitement, not the money. And everything is given you automatically when things happen. And because of that, the main thing is that we have partnerships with the betting companies who provide us the odds, and they provide us all that is necessary for the betting and the money to be transferred.
Got it. So, Aleksi, you were selected by two of the partners. I think you were selected by FIBA, which is the world governing body of basketball, and they handle all basketball tournaments around the world except the NBA in the U.S. And then ASER, which for those that don't know is really Leeds United, which is football, and then 11 Sport. And 11 Sport broadcasts now Taiwan basketball, Taiwan baseball, basketball, La Liga. They're one of the largest OTT streaming providers. Those two meetings going, what's your thoughts on both of them? Were you excited? Tell us a little bit about each.
Yeah, well, to be honest, these guys, if I would needed to select only two partners that were available, these two would have been these partners. So yes, I am excited. And as I talked about the associations being the best partners because they can bring the players and they can bring the statistics. FIBA is kind of the association of associations. So that is kind of the jackpot partnership for me because they have these basketball top stars who are available for them to use for marketing purposes. They have the connections to more than 80 basketball leagues all over the world and so on. So that's kind of a really interesting opportunity to work together and make what you just saw a default, something that happens all over.
Yeah, and you can take famous NBA players and bring them back home, like Tony Parker in the French League, for example, as you said, Dirk in the German League. People that have a huge name back in their country, give some free money out and get the things going.
Well, yeah, and also just from what I've seen when it comes to the different sports and like influencers and getting people on, even outside of players and former coaches or whatever, you think of just the regular people that cover it, run blogs and whatever. The basketball scene is very creative. And to give them an outlet like this, I mean, I can't even imagine what they're going to do. But there's all sorts of great potential with that.
Exactly. You have movie stars, you have actors, you have comedy stars, stand-up people, whoever, who are sports fans of a certain team. And you can utilize their power, their gravity to get people on screen and do cool stuff. And that's, of course, not limited to only basketball. Basketball is the vertical we selected because that's the only team sport that I have been playing. So I understand that sport. Yeah. But we're talking with several other sports, and we are talking about world championships for the next year for other sports that our technology is being implemented into. So it's not only basketball; it's all sports. But we want to first own one vertical and do our homework there and grow there, and then expand to other sports more, with more power.
Aleksi, you're based in Finland. Last I checked, there's not much basketball from Finland. There's the guy in the Bulls. I forget his name, Larry Markkinen or something. But I mean, why not ice hockey? We're both Flyers fans. We've had a lot of Finnish Flyers come through. Where does hockey sit in your realm?
To be honest, it's Finnish national sport. It's called pesäpallo. It's kind of a baseball, but a little bit different rules. But
you run backwards. You run the wrong direction.
Yeah.
At first I thought you meant they literally run backwards. Which
No, they run the third base instead of first base.
Okay, yeah, okay, we're good. I figured it out, right?
Whatever the difference is, but that's official national sport. But the real national sport is ice hockey. That's a fact. So Finland is really a big ice hockey country, but ice hockey has never been truly my sport. I have been working with the Finnish National League. Teemu Selänev, an NHL All-Star, was an investor in my previous company. And there's a shitload of NHL players in Finland, but let's see how it goes. For me, the problem that the commercial problem in Finland is that Finland is the only country where betting is monopolized by the government. So I cannot do the revenue share model in Finland. And if I would be able to do that, ice hockey would definitely be the thing, because the ice hockey league here in Finland is the biggest. I would probably go there, test this technology in ice hockey in Finland, and then go to NHL. That would be logical. As things are as they are, well, basketball is now number one, and most probably football/soccer will be the next bigger thing.
Okay.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
So it's summertime in Helsinki. Tell us a little bit about what's life like there in Helsinki.
Well, it's finally, the summer is finally here, and that's not a long period here in Finland. The winter is long, it's really dark, but the summer is short and it's really light. So the summer, the sun doesn't go down much, so it doesn't set. It's like light all the time, all over, and now it's really warm. It's beautiful here, and when after the long dark winter, you really enjoy staying summer in the Finland. And what is really weird in a way is that Finnish people have a real holidays on summer, and then they want to travel outside of Finland, which is the only time that it really makes any sense to be here. So for me, this Corona thing, and I'd say for many people, this Corona thing has been a good thing, because now they really can enjoy the Finnish nature and stay here, travel around their own home country, and see how it is. And it's really beautiful. It's more about nature than anything else.
Yeah, all the little cottages and islands. But Vince, I remember I come out of a club at 3 o'clock in the morning. Everyone goes straight to the beach at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Then everyone's topless on the beach. Everyone's half naked on the beach. And I was just dumbfounded. You come out at 4 o'clock at night and everyone's going to the beach, and you're playing a volleyball game, which is like a strip volleyball, taking their clothes. It's just something I've never seen in my life.
So you're seeing a lot of hers is what I'm hearing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Aleksi, Vince, anything else from your side?
No, I feel like I got a pretty good grip on what you got going on there, and it's a really exciting idea. It's a cool idea, and I can't wait to see it in action.
Aleksi, are you a Philadelphia 76ers fan?
Well, cannot say that I am. I'm more like, to be honest, team sports. Like I played basketball and I've been watching games here and there, but I'm more of a lonely wolf. So martial arts is my thing, and I'm waiting to get my technology to UFC, to be honest.
Ah, yeah, there we go. I can totally, yeah, why not? It'd be great for fights.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, look, on that note, on behalf of the Accelerator, good luck with FIBA and ASER. Looking forward, and obviously ASER's 11 Sports and Leeds United. So on behalf of Hype Global Virtual Accelerator, we'll keep you in mind. We'll keep progressing. Good luck with both of them, and hopefully we'll score a pilot with one of the two.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah, Aleksi, thanks for coming on, man.
Okay, Vince. So for our next guest, there's kind of a theme here. We're kind of talking sports gambling. just heard from Her Technology. Now we're going to hear from Parth Valecha, the co-founder of FlashPlays. Parth, I think, is normally based in Boston, and you're out in the Cape this weekend, Parth. Is that right?
Yeah, it's my dad's birthday week, so we're spending some time at the Cape.
Excellent, excellent. Hopefully some nice weather. So Parth, give us a few sentences. What is FlashPlays? Tell us what it's about. How do you describe it?
So FlashPlays is what we call a real-time prediction platform, where during live games, particularly NFL and NBA, fans can make predictions on what's going to happen later in the game. So, for example, are the Eagles going to score on their next drive, right? Things like that. As they answer these questions, they rack up points and can compete with one another. And the idea of this is, first, like, we want to bring fans closer to the game and give them more of an interactive, immersive experience from the home. And then second, we also want to connect fans with one another through competition, through personalized statistics, through chats and threads, where now you have a shared experience where millions of people are watching the game at the same time, right? We want to use gaming to synchronize these people onto one platform and have them discuss the game together. So that's really what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Okay, so take me through this then. If I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch a game and I'm using FlashPlays in the process, like you say 8 predictive questions, right? So like, how does that work? Because let's say maybe I missed the first quarter and I turn in the second quarter of the game. How does that all work out?
So
also, Parth?
Yeah, just to clarify, it is on your phone. Yep.
Okay.
To answer Rob's question, how it works is, we normally do primetime games right now, national games. Say the Eagles are playing at 8:20. You're facing the Giants. All right. We release questions 1 and 2 at 5:30 p.m. All right. Oh. And 1 and 2 could be, question 1 is going to be about the whole game. Question 2 is going to be about the first quarter. All right. And then when you answer the questions toward the end of the first quarter, with 2 minutes left in that quarter, as question 2 is wrapping up, we release question 3, which is about the second quarter. Right. So question 2 is wrapping up. You discuss question 3 with your friends or with strangers in our chats. You answer the question. Then midway into the second quarter, we release question 4, which is about one of the drives, right? It could be the home team or the away team. Then at halftime, questions 2, 3, and 4 the outcomes have been determined. So now we release questions 5 and 6. 5 is about the second half, 6 is about the third quarter. And it kind of just goes through that process until you get all 8.
Wow.
And yeah.
So
okay.
Give us an example of a question.
Example of a question. So a game question could be which receiver between, like, we could take a wide receiver 1 from each team. Which receiver is going to have more receptions or receiving yards or total yards? That could be a good game question. A good third quarter question could be, like, question 6 is, say a player has 70 rushing yards by halftime. We might ask, will they have 100 by the end of the third quarter, right? Things like that. Yeah.
Okay, so then you've basically got an active team that's looking at the game, analyzing the game, and saying, like, here's some good questions that we can ask based on what's going on within the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all real time.
Wow.
Is it a computer doing that, or is it an active team?
So right now we have my co-founder. He's the admin running most of the games. I run some of them. He's better than I'm at it, to be honest. But we are looking to, over time, automate the process. So right now, about most of it is actually automated. There are parts of it that are still manual, though. Yeah.
Okay. So how long have you guys been working on this? Like, what was the whole process to get to this stage?
So about 2.5 years ago, I was hanging out with my, now co-founder's basement watching the Red Sox when we first came up with the idea. And this was heading into my sophomore year of college. I just wrapped up my senior year of college. And when we spent about a year just figuring out this idea, right? We talked to about over 100 potential users from all different age groups, all different demographics. And we also analyzed their viewing behaviors. How do they watch football? How do they watch basketball? How, anything from, like, when do they go on their phone? When do they leave the couch? When do they interact with other people? How do they interact with other people? Especially virtually, how do they do it? And through this process, we really understood that Yes, gaming is a great way for fans to interact with one another and get a deeper experience in the game, because it really felt like that was missing, right? Every virtual interaction you try to have right now just feels awkward, right? If you try to text a friend that's watching across the country, you can't have a good conversation. Twitter, you can't really have a good conversation while you're watching a game. We wanted to change that. And so we launched a really simple web version of this idea September of 2018, and it grew to like have about 1,000 downloads. Like, it was cool. We're like, great, we put in like a couple grand into it. Fantastic. A year later, we sent out a more like full MVP that was an app. This was this past September, got 25,000 downloads, 40% month over month growth, and actually grew to become the largest real-time prediction platform in the country. So I'm really proud of that.
Wow. So, and here's one of the things too. Now, I haven't seen this yet, is you sent us a demo video. So what I'm going to do is, how about this? Let me put up the screen share right now and wait for it. Okay, there we go. So screen share should be up. You guys seeing that? Is that on your screens as well?
It is. Try to make it full screen if you can. I don't know if you're late to.
Yeah, I just clicked it a couple of times. It didn't want to respond to me, but now it's listening. Good computer. So here's what we'll do. I'll hit play. And if you just want to talk us through this whole thing, Parth, let's go for it. Here we go.
So obviously you're logging in. There is actually a voiceover if you want to play that too. This is
you just talk.
Sure. This is so when a contest first starts, you answer the first 2 questions, right? 1 and 2. These are some user splits about like what other users think is going to happen, right? There you go. Now this is how it looks before the game. You can also, can you pause it for a second?
Yeah.
So if you go back like 5 seconds.
Okay.
Yep. So if you go 2 seconds further, sorry about that. What you'll see it's fine. What you'll see is all 8 questions will have outcomes and tracking, right? Like right here.
Okay.
So you have questions 1 through, you have pending, incorrect. You can track how the question is doing. And then at the top, you saw 2 boxes. One is a free-to-play 8 for 8, where you can actually win cash for free without having to put in any entry. The other one is a 7 for 8 jackpot, where you can put a bit of money, and if you get 7 right or 8 right, you can win money. So those are the
Parth, is this kind of like a DraftKings model of the more people that play, the more money is in the pot?
So it depends on the gameplay. There are different types of gameplay. So with the free-to-play 8 for 8, absolutely. But you don't have to put in any money. With something like a matchup, which is actually designed to be similar to a DraftKings lobby, again, the bigger the lobby, the bigger the matchup, the higher the prize pool. With jackpots, it's actually more individual. It's like individual. You put in money for a specific goal. If you hit that goal, you win money, right? So those are how the different gameplays work. Yeah.
Okay, so one is sort of like an individual bet slip that you'd put in a casino, and the other is more of your DraftKings competing against each other, winner takes the money situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's all meant to be a game of skill, right? It's all a game of skill. So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so no, I like this. I mean, it seems like it makes a whole lot of sense, and it's not on the screen. So, because I mean, we've seen the amount of people that are doing stuff on the screen. So you're going to be able to have this in your hand with your phone. You download the app, and you just keep track of it that way. And I would assume the app is free, right? Is it a membership for the app, or how does that work?
It's totally free. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It looks nice.
It's also a legalized way to bet legally, right? I mean, you can do this with prizes and other things, and there's ways to get it. It could even be cash prizes. There's ways to do it. I mean, obviously there's a gray line, but right, Parth, correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, as long as we are a predominant or materially a game of skill, those are like legal jargon, we're fine.
Yep.
That's
and
really
that was that big discussion on DraftKings and FanDuel as whether it was skill or not, and all that big law firm and all lawsuits and all that stuff that came up.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
okay.
Right now you're B2C. Right now anyone can play this, but you came into the Hype Global Virtual Accelerator. I remember you and I talked, and my first question for you, and we actually had the interview, was, are you B2C or are you looking to actually sell to clubs? So maybe tell me About the accelerator, tell us who you were selected by and kind of how does that work?
So we were selected by the Dolphins, who, I'd say align the most with what we do right now, because our main focus right now is football. So it worked out kind of perfectly. And the idea is when Ryan first came to us, we're like, yeah, we've always wanted to do B2B alongside B2C. We're kind of waiting for the right time. It seems like Hype is that right time. The idea is, if you think about a national broadcast and then a regional broadcast, the national broadcast is all games, the primetime games, right? And that's what we see our consumer app being, right? The direct to consumer. It has all the primetime, all the big playoff games, things like that. And then our B2B apps, which are affiliated with each team, has that team's entire season, right? Kind of like your regional broadcast when you're watching the Eagles game, like a 1 p.m. Eagles game, right? So it's that kind of mentality that we're taking on.
Nice. Okay. And yeah, and for the Dolphins, like, it seems like they're pretty ahead of the curve with this stuff. So, for them to select you, like, that's great.
Yeah.
I've been on some of the calls with Parth and the Dolphins, and we're progressing. I mean, it's you're speaking the same language, you're talking the same. I think it's gonna be cool. I can't wait for it, and let's just hope there's an NFL season. Parth, anything else you want to share in terms of where this is going? What's your vision for this?
Sure. So
European soccer one day, Australian cricket. What do you want to do with this?
So in terms of sports, there are definitely so many ways we can go. Soccer has been one we've always entertained, but it's a tough one because it's fast. It has a good flow, right? We do better with sports that have a lot of breaks, like a tennis is fantastic, cricket, right? I would say the long-term vision is really about taking this gamified experience to bring the fan into the sports community, into the live game. What I mean by that is, in the long term, we want to work with broadcast, for example, right? You saw the user splits on the demo, get those user splits on the broadcast, right? So heading into the fourth quarter, Aaron Rodgers is down 2 touchdowns. Does the entire have faith in Aaron Rodgers? We can see that based on how they answer question 8, right? Things like that. Make them part of the conversation during talk shows, right? We want to really use gaming to bring fans deeper into the community of sports.
For Parth,
yeah.
Vince actually runs a sports tech talk show. It could be something for Eagles topic game day. And maybe people are asking these questions. WI puts out these polls. I don't know. I'm just thinking of.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's one of the things I think about, because the nice thing is for you is that you're putting this stuff out. Say if it is an 8 o'clock, 8:30 game, and if you're getting it out at 5:30, then that is an easy thing to sell in pregame, right? Like you can say, all right, well, here's the first question, and this is from FlashPlays. What do you guys think of it? And people who are on the app will hear those analyses and go, yeah, I agree with this guy, I agree with that guy. Here's my pick. So the whole thing, the way it scales throughout the game, it fits really well with that. It's really natural.
What's the prizes? Sorry, didn't cut you off, Parth. Go ahead.
Oh, what I was going to say is one thing we've wanted to do, we just haven't had the opportunity to do it, and maybe if you're interested, we could talk about it. We've always wanted to have a 1 and 2 release where we release questions 1 and 2 to a specific media partner the day before. And then they have exclusive, they're the only ones that know it. They talk about 1 and 2. They kind of reveal it. They discuss their thoughts based on their own analysis. And their users kind of get a sneak peek of what 1 and 2 are, their listeners, right? So just throwing that out there. If you want to talk about me.
Hey, I'm always happy to talk about anything. I am a guy, I will spitball anything, my friend. I'm always happy to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So Parth, last question for you. In terms of prizes, what can someone expect? Give us a range. How big? How small? What are some examples?
Sure. So with the consumer app, it's very different between the B2C and B2B. So B2C is almost entirely prizes, and then we add some gamified prizes. So with the B2C app, you got you have a pot in the free-to-play 8 for 8. You usually win $10 to $20, not too much. It's kind of it gets split, kind of like HQ Trivia did back in the day. And then the play contest, you can have bigger prizes, anywhere from 50 to a few hundred, right, depending on the contest itself. Now with the B2B, we plan to look at a lot more fan activation, right? Bringing the fan closer to that organization. So we're talking about things like potentially tickets, signed jerseys, cameos from players, things like that, where the team can really get more loyalty and really push their players and bring them closer to the fans that are winning these contests. So yeah.
Got it. Okay. Vince, any other questions for you?
No, I feel like I got a good feel for this. It seems really smooth for a guy that's worked on broadcasts in different degrees, like in-game broadcast, pre-game broadcast, all that stuff. I see how it integrates. It seems smooth because people are on their phone anyway during a game. It just it all makes a lot of sense, and I'm excited for you, and best of luck with this.
So I have a couple closing comments. How are the Patriots going to do without Brady?
So my take is not well. I'm not a big Stidham guy. I think he could be good. I'm really curious. I don't think he's going to be that bad, but I'm thinking 7-8 win season. I'm going to be honest. That's what I'm thinking.
That makes me feel great.
Yeah,
I love to hear that.
That's what most Pats fans think. Yeah.
So where were you when Nick Foles destroyed your team and
right off the top rope?
I was at a friend's house. Yeah.
Were you playing? Was there a question? Would Tom Brady outpass or outplay Nick Foles as a question that day? Because I bet everyone would have got it wrong except those in Philly.
This was before. Sorry, but what was that? You kind of got cut out. My bad.
Yeah, I got cut out, or you did.
I think you did. Yeah.
All the same, he's basically saying Nick Foles. If people were placing the bet on who has more passing yards in the Super Bowl, Tom Brady or Nick Foles, everyone would have gotten it wrong.
Play Tom Brady, and you know, could I have won the massive prize of $50?
Oh man, yeah. The Philly special is like that hurt more than anything. I'll say that. The Philly special, like I'll never forget that touchdown. I was just like, no, they can't. Oh God, that was just a shot directly at Brady for the fact that he can't run and catch.
You're gonna hear that word Philly special until you die, Parth. So that'll be around forever. I was actually in Sydney, Parth, at a sports bar with a bunch of yuppity Bostonites and a few Eagles fans. We got there late. We were in the back row. We were spraying champagne. We were going crazy, and they hated us. They left right when that ball dropped and Gronk dropped. They like ran out of the bar, and we were going crazy. It was fun. Anyway, Parth, looking forward to playing FlashPlays. I'm sure, Vince, if you get us a copy of it, we'll push this out. We'll definitely start playing it, and you know, let's not stop at the Dolphins. Let's get this up to the Eagles and everywhere else in the NFL. So more than happy to help you out there.
Let's get the Pats first, though.
I have nothing to do with that. That's all I'm saying. I got nothing to do with that.
No, the Eagles would be cool.
We'll skip the Eagles part. That's fine. It's all good.
Great fan base, amazing fan base. You guys like the fact that you guys climb poles that are you have to grease up the poles.
Yeah,
you have to grease like that. That's actually amazing.
We take it as a challenge, and we decide to conquer it every single time. We're resilient people in Philadelphia.
A mistake like the Minnesota Vikings fans did. If you want to deface Rocky, you'll see what happens to you.
Yeah, crazy.
All right, Parth. Good to talk to you. We're not going to talk Jason Tatum at all. We're not going to talk Celtics. We're going to let you go. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good time in the Cape.
Appreciate it. Have a good weekend, guys.
All right, take it easy, Parth. Okay, so we just learned a lot about gambling, or at least I did. You know all this stuff. This is all new to me, though. It's cool. It's cool to see all these different ways that you can bet now.
Well, now we need some sports to bet on.
Well, yeah, and well, at least there's international sport. Like, and luckily we have people that are with team like River Plate, whatever. We've got all these teams from all over the globe, and not just the U.S. Because I mean, it's a little dicey right now. We'll hold our breath for that. So we'll see. But again, just cool to see what these apps are and where everything is moving and how accessible it is and easy it is. It's just the variety and everything is consistently mind blowing. And today was really great. So thanks to Aleksi, thanks to Parth. And Ryan, what are you drinking, my friend? Do you have any wine on? Or are you?
Before we get there, a couple of things to comment on. So
Okay.
I lived in Australia for 8 years, and it's kind of the betting. It's where the most bets are taking place per capita. You can pretty much bet anywhere within any street block. There's a bar that says VIP, and you walk in, there's a betting parlor. In Europe, betting's been around for ages, but it's been stagnant, and it's been kind of a simple. It wasn't until the U.S. market opened. So now you start to see all this innovation. So it's because of the US market, everyone sees this big gold rush. All these companies coming from Helsinki, coming from Australia, most of the betting houses are actually have Australians running them. And FanDuel was bought by Paddy Power in the UK. You see all these European and Australian innovation coming. It's pretty cool. And it's kind of that US driving that market. Before we get to what I'm drinking today, I just want to ask you if you know what today is, Vince, the June 26, 1996.
Oh, yes. I thank you, Twitter, for this. Allen Iverson was drafted by the Sixers on this day, Ryan.
Who is also the GOAT of Philly, Vince?
Yeah, I disagree with that ranking, but my station did put out a list, and Allen Iverson was listed as greatest Philadelphia athlete in the past 50 years. Now, it should be Brian Dawkins. I'm sorry, it's Brian Dawkins. He is the correct answer. That's the only correct answer, but people decided to do Allen Iverson. They're wrong, and they're allowed to do that, and so we've published a list that is wrong. Allen Iverson is technically listed as the greatest athlete of Philadelphia for the last 50 years.
All right. I have no real connection to Iverson with this, but what I am drinking today. So we had on David Olin from the Madeira Islands talking about Foot AR, maybe episode 6 or 7, I forget. But he's from Madeira, and this is the special wine that comes from Madeira. It's kind of like a port. It's a sweet after dinner drink. Show you the color of it here.
The bottle's cool.
Bottle's very cool. So this is a 5-year-old Madeira. To be quite honest, this was about $5 in the store. And this is not your $5 Mad Dog in America. This is not your cheap wine. This is probably about $50 in the store in the US. I get it for $5 here in Portugal, one of the beauties of Corona. And you know, it's
wow. Look at that. Nice fine glass there. Good for you.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So a little shout out to Madeira. Let's also give a wink because, you know, the B-Box guys, they actually gave me a really nice bottle of wine. I think on a show later this week, we're going to have another bottle of wine from some of my friends at Full Venue. So David out there in Madeira, you have my address. You can ship me something better, some better Madeira, brother.
This is great. Now you're just calling for more wine. This is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy of you just getting stocked with wine, and I'm all in on that. I want to see you every time we need you drinking wine all the time. And this is funny because now, so Tiago's just joined in here, and Tiago, this is a fun way that this works now. Tiago is going to be in our next episode, so this is a sneak peek at Tiago, if you will, and we're going to be getting to him in episode 11. So let's just wrap right now, episode 10 of New Arenas. That's Ryan McCumber. I am Vince Quinn. We're brought to you by Fist, and that Tiago right underneath me. You'll see you in the next episode. We'll talk to you soon.